Do you have a rating for Toy Story 5 out of 10?
So I haven't yet made my letterbox review of it.
Okay.
Right. If I had, I would probably go off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it though, because I just saw it yesterday, and I think I'm gonna give Toy Story 5 on Letterboxd a 4 out of 5. But if it was out of 10, I'd probably say like 8.5 out of 10.
8.5?
8.5. I really liked it. Do you feel differently?
Just give it a few notes.
Okay. In a nutshell, I think that to me it felt like for the first time in a while, Pixar and the teams like behind the Toy Story. Well, I say a while, right? But there's always like a long time between movies. Like
right.
There was over a decade between 2 and 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then I feel like there was practically another decade between 3 and 4.
A full like 9 years at least.
And it feels like 4 was not that long ago.
No.
Do you know off the top of your head like what year that was?
It should have been 2019.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like 7 years.
Kind of has been a while.
It's a little while, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But not as long as it was before.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I realized that every like Toy Story movie that comes out, right? That's like Pixar's flagship
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like what Mario is to Nintendo.
Right.
They're always going to go all out for like the Mario game that comes out.
Okay.
So I feel like Pixar, they're going to put like their starting people, you know, like their A-team
Mm-hmm.
on the Toy Story movies, and that's going to be like their big like output,
Mm-hmm.
practically like over any other like movie that they're going to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I was watching this one, it clicked with me that through the Toy Story movies, you can get a sense of like how like the company, the studio, I mean, is like evolving with time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 4 kind of felt like a little like underwhelming to me. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
dislike it. Like I thought it was pretty good. But I think 5, although I wouldn't rank it above any of the original 3,
Okay.
I think that it is trying to like say something. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
trying to have
Yeah.
a voice of its own.
It is.
You know, and I think that goes a long way for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what am I trying to say? It feels like a very new school style of, you know, animation team compared to the old ones.
The animation was really good.
Yeah,
Really good.
very much so. And like just the direction of it, you know, it's totally from like a different place than where it started.
Right.
But I think they felt like they were trying to like stand on their own 2 feet and less like on the backs of like what came before.
Okay.
Which I guess is funny to say for like a legacy franchise like that in its 5th, you know, movie. But yeah, it felt like there was new stuff being said to me, and I think that because of that, I liked it like a lot.
I mean, this movie franchise has to be going on like what? Is it almost 30 years of being a franchise, or is it,
Probably
is my
more.
math
I think more. I think the first film, I want to say Toy Story 1 came out in like 94?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like 95.
Yeah.
So about 30 years, like right over it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my rating for Toy Story 5, I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Wait, 7 out of 10 is bad to you?
Well, okay. I think for a movie like Toy Story with so many like legacy characters for Disney and stuff like that, it's not going to be lower than a 6.
Okay.
Like it could be a complete slop, and I don't think it would be like lower than a 6.
Do you think like just because of your bias, like you're always gonna like it enough? To
Yeah,
give it more than
yeah.
a 6?
Like the Super Mario movie this year that you brought up,
Yeah.
I thought it was like a complete mess, and I still think I'm still like,
Yeah.
well, I don't mind watching this movie because it's still Mario and you know Donkey Kong and Peach.
I feel that. I feel
But like,
that.
I don't think this movie had the ability to be lower than a 6
Yeah.
because it is Toy Story 5.
Sure.
But I gave it like the next like ranking up. I gave it like a 7.
Mm.
Like to me, I think even like an 8 for a Toy Story movie is like okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it a whole lot. Like as soon as the movie started, I got really excited, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm here in this theater. We're really watching Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
It's been years, but just the more it went on, I just think it had a lot going on to me. Like, it had a ton of things going on.
Like too many characters, too many subplots.
Not too many characters, because it actually suffered from like butting out a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's that constant. We gotta go to this place, and then someone's gonna tell us about another place, and then if we use the internet, now we're gonna meet up at this other location, and we're going back to Jesse and Emily from like, which was never a part of the story. She never had like She never had that writing on her pants.
Yeah,
And
that was
as
new.
soon as they did it, I was
That
like,
was new.
okay, so this is Toy Story 2.1. Like, it's literally a sequel to Toy Story 2. I was like, as soon as they did it, I was like, oh, it's gonna be the main focus, which I didn't mind.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, like she's the only one that kind of needs like her closure in a way, because she's still like definitely hurt over it.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot going on. That like the lily pad was evil, and then got self-aware and wasn't evil. Jesse is trying to make friends the organic way, but gets pushed aside. And then Woody comes back, and him and Buzz are butting heads, which I get.
Yeah.
But I refuse to believe that they can't work together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were like literally getting each other's way, and I like refuse to believe after all these years and adventure
That would still
that
happen.
they don't understand like the mission. Like, Jesse's literally in danger of never coming back,
Yeah.
and they're like, it's a joke. But I was like, this isn't really what I want to see out of this duo. Like, I want to see them accomplish a mission.
So okay, because I guess to play devil's advocate, right? I
Mhm.
would say that like part of like what makes their dynamic work, like from the first movie, is the fact that they like are
Mhm.
so like diametrically opposed, right,
Mhm.
as characters.
Right.
Like they come from completely different places,
hmm
so it makes sense that they like butt heads a lot.
Yeah.
I think that to me, it's interesting like you bring that up for this film because since you brought it up,
hmm
I would almost say that like the way that they butt heads like didn't have enough
hmm
like consequence to
Yeah.
be like happening in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
Like it felt like a little. I guess I wish that like it would have either gone the route that you're saying,
Mhm.
where like it's been so long and these guys are just like so locked in at this
Mhm.
point that it's like they're like a flawless team.
Yeah.
at
Like,
this
we still
point.
got it. Like.
Or
hmm
they like butt heads to a point that it's like it becomes like existential, like about their friendship. You know what
Sure.
I mean? Where it's like after so much time apart, like with Woody
Mhm.
gone and stuff, like maybe it could have been a thing where it's like they kind of lost like connection,
And it actually like
and that would have been like interesting drama.
it like actually hurts them.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they messed up and Jesse's actually like gone.
Exactly,
And they have no way to
like
find her.
something you know, at
Yeah.
least for a while.
Yeah.
it's gotta have a happy ending.
Yeah, so to me they kind of like stayed in the middle of that, but I mean that wasn't even my like biggest issue, because you know it's fine, but I do think that they butted out a lot of the characters that like I was kind of looking forward to seeing, like even just like Slinky or Rex.
Yeah,
That, and then
Mr. Potato Head, bro.
Potato Head. Forky got more lines than them. Unacceptable.
That's true. Forky's
Um,
like the new, yeah.
But yeah, like Emily was this huge part of it, and it was like, are we gonna see her? Are we not gonna see her? Now we're at her house, but it's not her living there. Obviously, Bonnie. I like the part with like Bonnie needing friends.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me a lot. This movie reminded me a ton. Like Lily Pad reminded me a lot of Anxiety from Inside Out 2. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw Inside Out 2.
Yeah, I did.
Like that was this had Inside Out 2 written all over it.
Oh, like you mean how she became like in
Yeah.
what she thought was in like the best interest of the kid,
Mhm.
she becomes like overbearing,
Yeah.
and it's at the expense of like the other characters.
Yeah, Inside Out 2 is like the captain of the hockey team has purple hair. We gotta dye this girl's hair purple.
Yeah.
Because like she's cool and we gotta join hockey and we gotta leave our friends, which is leaving the toys, to upgrade to being with the cool kids. Like
Yeah.
this just had Inside Out 2 like written all over it to me.
Interesting.
Like completely. I didn't love the things with like the army of buzzes.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but it was just like I feel like Toy Story. This was just Toy Story like down my throat the whole movie. I'm not gonna lie. It was bad. Like I was like, okay, so we're doing nothing but Buzz. Like Woody and like Buzz are fighting, but
So like, would you have taken like the whole subplot of like the army of buzzes like out like of the movie completely?
I think so. Especially the way it wrapped up. Like I hate that they were kind of the one to save the day.
Yeah.
Like for it to be like Woody and Buzz didn't find Jessie. She was at the treehouse, which sure isn't far, but they were in the house, like in the wrong position looking for her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like a bunch of Woodies find her first.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point too. It kind of felt like
It's fun.
what's the word? There's a term for it. Oh, it's called the Deus Ex Machina,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if like the viewers would know what that is, but
Mhm.
basically that's like a term in storytelling when something totally coincidental or like unexpected like saves the day in the end.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like the character's about to die
Okay.
and just out of nowhere, like something comes and saves them.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I've never heard that term, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I can kind of see how the buzzes like serve as that, even though they are like you do see them built up like through the movie in their own little like short like
they were
scenes
cool.
that happen. But yeah, no, I guess you're right. They are kind of a little contrived. Like they only are written into the movie to like save the day.
Like, literally come and
do
save the day. And, it was,
yeah.
And I guess to pick at Zurg again, which I don't know, that was kind of random too. But like this movie literally is Toy Story 2.1 in my opinion. Like they just picked again at like Buzz Lightyear's the only one that can't. Like he's just so set. This is how you explain a toy not understanding he's a toy.
Yeah.
Like he's the face of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think they did that. So it was fun, especially for like my audience. I know they had fun when the buzzes came out.
Well, the thing too about the buzzes, to play devil's advocate again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something I really, really liked about the buzzes, like coming in and saving the day at the end, is that like, for one thing, the fact that like in this universe, right, Buzz Lightyear is still such a popular toy,
right?
Like decades
and
later,
he's
upgraded, right? I noticed that from the beginning, right, that they were kind of shiny.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
And I was like, oh, is that because like when Buzz himself was brand new, was he supposed to be shiny, or is that like changing the design or something over many years? Because they also had like the light up buttons and stuff. And at the end, like finding out that they are like Wi-Fi hotspots and the drones, I think that the movie is like building up this idea that like old and new can coexist, right? It's always just like a period of like harsh like growth before like figuring out like how to mesh the two. And to choose like Buzz Lightyear, who's supposed to be like the ultimate toy, and then creating like another version of it for 2026 that is still like not only like the ultimate toy, but he's the ultimate toy because he's toy and tech, right? That it's like, because I thought that I was like, oh, if that was like a Wi-Fi hotspot, that would encourage I think parents to buy that toy for their kids.
Yeah,
and kids that use devices would probably also be more inclined to like use it because they'd be like, oh, my Wi-Fi's bad, let me go get my Buzz Lightyear, maybe I want to play with it.
Or my parents always let me bring this toy around.
Something, right? And then the fact that it turns into a drone at the end, like that's just cool. If I was a kid, I think I'd be all over
You are selling me a bit that he is like the face of toys, and eventually like he's like the mix of both worlds now.
Exactly. So like to have the Buzz Lightyears come at the end, it's like a symbolic representation of like the catharsis the movie is trying to like the point like the movie is trying to make. You know what I mean? And I thought that was like I thought it was clever, and to me, it in the moment watching it, like it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I do like that point. So I would say that this is probably like my biggest issue with the movie, since we're on the topic of Buzz.
Yeah,
Buzz had nothing to do. Like main Buzz, he got like simplified down to the guy that just needs to get married in this movie, and like not even in a charming way.
Yeah.
But we're showing him practice so that way the theater's ready for it.
Yeah.
And it's not out of left field. Instead of like this could have easily been like a combat mission type of thing where they've been together for so long, like running the house, running the room, that it could have just been a chemistry thing, and then when it happens it's just like, oh, of course it happened. Like, we've been leading up to this for a few movies. But his first line in the movie is like him practicing his speech, and I think that's charming. Like it's cute and it's like endearing since we care about these characters.
Yeah.
But his thing is he's the subplot character. Like Toy Story 1, he's in Sid's room getting tortured. Yeah. Toy Story 2, he's saving Woody through traffic. Toy Story 3, he's in like the caterpillar room. He goes through Spanish mode. Like, half of this movie, and like I was waiting for something huge to happen, and instead we got it with a different Buzz.
Man, since you say that, I would honestly like go even a step further and say that I kind of think that Buzz has gotten shafted as a character a little bit since 3. I like 3 a lot, but one of the things that I think has never quite sat well with me, like right with me about 3, is the fact that like Buzz, because he becomes like rebooted, right? Okay. And he becomes almost like more of an obstacle than a help in 3. Like it's a dilemma that he's like Spanish mode Buzz and they have to like, turn him back, right? Right. And I feel like because of that, you spend a lot of the movie with like not much time for him as a character to shine or to solve problems or, to like come in clutch, which he did plenty of times in like 1 and 2. Yeah. And I definitely feel what you're saying that like over the course of the series, because I think That's definitely true of 4 as well. Like I barely remember anything that he did in 4.
I needed to rewatch 4. I didn't, but I have a lot of like comparisons to him. Like, do I like the villain of that one, like Gabby more, like Lily, like which one's a better villain? But the subplots of characters I really wanted to dig into for 4, but I didn't catch up on it.
I think that there's something to be said though about like, I think it makes sense to go with like exploring like Jesse's
Yeah,
problems,
it does, yeah.
right? Because like we've had lots of movies about like what's going on with Woody and Buzz. So I think as it goes on, it makes sense to like, because now Jesse's been there for a while too, like being there since 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like opposed to the idea of like zeroing in on her like perspective.
Yeah.
I almost wish I was watching another review about the movie by this guy Doug Walker.
Okay.
And he was talking about how he wishes that like starting with 4, they would have just made straight up like spin-off movies instead of direct like sequels, right? Because you could have had like the same plots, right? You could have had a movie for 4 that just focuses on like Woody's arc and deciding that he needs to like go out on his own.
Okay.
And not necessarily include so much of the other characters,
like,
you know, like just focus on the new adventure that he's having.
Okay.
And then for this one, like you could have done the same thing with Jesse.
And leave Woody out of it.
Yeah, because in his opinion, he was saying that he thinks that because there's so much like sequel baggage, the movie becomes cluttered, which is like you were saying, you feel like there's so much going on.
There's a lot going on.
He feels like there's too many characters.
Okay.
And that if you streamlined it to just focus on like the main character, like basically, and then like whoever new like needs to be introduced, human and toy.
Yeah.
That you could probably have like, he gave it like a 3 out of 5, and he's like doing that would probably push it to a 4 out of 5 for him.
Yeah.
It's a good point. You know, it's totally hypothetical. Obviously,
I was just sad. I was like, Buzz literally has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Because even there's the part where they fight. Is Jesse's getting taken away in the car, and the guys are deciding we need to go with her, and Woody's like, well, I'll go with her, I'm the deputy, you gotta watch the room, and he's like, well, I'm the new deputy.
Yeah.
So they go together, and that's what he does, but it's so much that that Buzz doesn't have anything to do in this movie that, like, Woody was willing to go on his own.
Yeah, because like,
and I'm like, he could have
anything like Buzz didn't necessarily need to be there. That's pretty true. Like, Woody could have had like the same like B plot like by himself.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he was useless. I just wish he's always had more to do.
No, I agree. I definitely agree that Buzz as a character has gotten kind of like shafted and it's I guess kind of like watered down. You know, from like who he was in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It almost feels like his arc like stops at 2, and everything else is just kind of like him in like limbo. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Like he's a character that's at peace.
I also didn't like the ending of. Okay, so I do like that Buzz and Jesse like just finally end up being Endgame. Like that's like of course they are. Like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I just hated the scene that he finally gets the courage. He doesn't even get the courage, but it happens in traffic on a freeway.
Yeah.
And there's a truck rushing them to say it, and they're on these buzzes that are like flying drones. And then you do get the scene of like them playing imagination, and it's a different imagination scene. But just within the characters of themselves, like Buzz asking Jesse to be together should have been a lot more grounded to me. Like a lot more, let's take our time with this. Like that was his whole thing. And then I saw a big 18-wheeler rushing towards them, and I was like, oh, here comes the joke. And I was like, I get it's a movie about toys, but you know, it is like a 30-year franchise, and I wouldn't mind if they took their time a little bit more with it.
I do feel that. I think for the original 3, those movies definitely had like a tone that was like, they were unafraid to go like a bit darker and more serious with their tone, you know? Like in 3, the climax is straight up like the toys are about to die, like be you know, thrown into an incinerator with no hope, right? And that's pretty dire, that's pretty dark. It's hard to imagine anything like that happening in like 4 or 5. You know, like it would feel like out of place because these movies have such like lower stakes overall. Like even like it always happens pretty much where like a toy gets separated and ends up in like some other house. Like I feel like that happens in literally like every single movie. And most of the time it is kind of like a threat of some kind.
Mhm.
Like for Woody, it's that he's gonna be like an antique in a just like in a collector's box, like forever and ever, like Pete, or Sid was gonna turn them into like monstrosity toys.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, like, it was fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with Blaze's house, you know?
Yeah.
Like, with Jessie, there wasn't really a threat. It's just that she wanted to get back to Bonnie.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But again, it's just to point out that, like, these movies never really, like, go... The new ones don't really go to the same places as the old ones.
Yeah.
And I think certain moments like that can kind of suffer where you want to have like this really, if you want to have like a very serious, like impactful moment of Buzz like finally, popping the question to Jessie. Yeah, like you're right, it has to be like undercut by, I don't know, like some kind of like forced tension and some kind of humor.
Yeah. And I don't think it needed, like, it didn't need that necessarily.
Although I will say, I got a little choked up at that part when it happened. It made me a little emotional when Buzz actually like did ask her, and it caught me like totally off guard.
No way.
It did.
He had tried like 8 times already.
I will say too, I saw it with my friend, and my friend brought a joint, and we had a few hits of it before the movie, so I was a little like feeling that. So I think like that could have, you know what I mean? Like could have.
You love this movie then.
I was.
This
no,
is your
so
favorite
true.
thing.
It's so true because I'm like I really liked it, and part of me is like maybe if I watched it again like without that, like I'd feel differently.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. No, there's a lot going on. It was literally shoving it down my throat, but it was a lot going on. I do have like some like small pros. Let me make sure this is recording.
Oh, that would suck if we weren't recording this whole time.
That's why I gotta keep checking. Okay. Okay, as far as Toy Story 5 goes, I do have like some pros that are kind of like, I would like maybe niche. But I love the return of animals to this franchise.
Yeah.
Like the huge horse, Daffodil, just like, that scene of like Daffodil digging to find the lunchbox, he's just so heavy and like...
No, feeling like the steps of how the horse feels like gigantic. Because horses are big to people, right?
Yeah,
But like to a little toy like that, it feels like gargantuan, like a colossus or something.
And then the pig was just supposed to be funny, but like we need toys getting like literally like being stepped up to animals, because that's what would happen. Like the 100 Buzzes also encounter like a squirrel and some turtles, and I think they save a turtle at some point. But I've always liked Toy Story like mixed in with animals, just because I think it's an easy way to like put these toys in like a different situation.
No, yeah, because with humans they have to hide.
Yeah.
But with animals they can actually like interact with them, so that is like interesting.
Yeah. That's another thing I was gonna say. The toys like straight up don't care about getting caught this movie.
Yeah.
Like Bonnie's on her tablet, which I get, like they're like, oh, she's not gonna see me.
Yeah.
But they've known this tablet and Bonnie's interaction with it for like less than 24 hours. And there's a scene of literally 20 toys like on her bed just staring at her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so we don't care about getting caught anymore. I was like, okay. There's another part too. I think there's like 50 Buzzes in Blaze's house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, alright, we just straight up don't care about being sneaky. Like, this is so much different from Toy Story 1. Like, why is there 50 Buzzes?
No, that's what I mean. Like, the stakes feel like so much lower, you know?
I was like, alright, we just don't care anymore. I have one more thing right here. Oh, yeah. This is one thing I like to say, that Woody has always fought dirty.
Yeah.
He immediately knew to unplug Lily Pad and to not charge her.
I thought that was a great character.
He's always fought dirty.
Because that made a lot of sense. Like, that genuinely felt like something he would think to do that, like, none of the other toys would have.
Yeah.
So I agree. I thought that was a very good character moment for him.
I wrote down, that's a veteran move.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love it's true.
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know if you have anything else to add. I wanted to do our rankings of the Toy Stories. Do you have anything to add just about the movie that we might have gone over?
Yeah, I was just curious, like, in general, like, what you thought about the message, right? Like,
okay.
Because, can I say that we work with kids on the podcast? Like, is that too much, like, information?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. So, like, we work with kids, and I think that, you see a lot of, like, how... It is true that technology really like has a hold on these kids, right?
Okay.
Like I've had even at like previous jobs and stuff where I've worked with kids, I like you give them a tablet, right? And it really does like occupy them. Like they are not interested in anything else. They are like hypnotized by it.
Right.
And even like good kids that I had were like, they wouldn't give me trouble, like they wouldn't like throw a fit like if I tried to like say like, okay, tablet time's over. This one little girl, she was like holding on to it, like she was like, okay, and I had to like pry it out of her hands like that, and she was like, God, just take it,
Yeah.
And some of the kids that like we work with now, like obviously like if you give them like an inch on your tablet, they take a mile, and it becomes like a whole thing if you try to get it like away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think there's truth to. I grew up like playing with toys. I'm pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 1997, and so like that experience that like they talk about in the movie of like make believe and playing with toys and how fun and awesome it is. Like I really like relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that kind of
Right.
make believe play genuinely did build like lifelong bonds like with other kids who like some of them, even if I don't talk to them very often, like some of my childhood friends, like I know if I still saw them, like we'd be cool,
Yeah.
And like aside from that, there's something like universal about Bonnie's like I like that they're making Bonnie grow up like progressively through the movies, and that now she's having to start dealing with like preteen, teenager, like social dynamic issues.
Yeah.
And like the challenges as well as like the advantages that technology can bring to that.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I thought the movie was gonna. Before I saw the movie, I thought it was gonna be kind of like boomer, like style about
Like just hate technology.
I thought it was just gonna be like tech bad, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it actually tried to say like something a lot more like nuanced than that about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think pretty like forward looking about it, because it is like here to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like technology in our lives. So I like the optimistic view that we can find some way to like blend it into our lives and even into like our children's like childhoods that can actually like continue to serve them,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like just being something that stunts them or exposes them to bullying and anxiety and things like that. Like again, like how Buzz represents like that intermingling of like old and new, toy and tech.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was like really cool, and I think again like just for the theme, like I think the movie gets probably it gets bonus points for me for that and contributes to why I like it so much. So like, what did you think about like? Did you walk away from the movie like feeling any of that, or did the message kind of like fall flat for you, or somewhere in the middle?
I would say I felt a lot more positive about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought some of these scenes were like there's really no better way to display it. Like they're like, all right, like they're trying to talk to Bonnie and she's just like it gives you this audio thing where she's like muffled out,
Mm-hmm.
and the parents are like completely muffled, and that's how they understand it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the kid
It
is
happens
like
the second she gets on the tablet.
is like she's like, okay mom, and it just like muffles beautifully, and I loved
Yeah.
it. And I do like the scene of the toys looking at the neighborhood, and it's late at night but every room is lit up by a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, and I do like the peer pressure of like, where's your tablet at? Like, why are you playing with toys? Like, we all have tablets. Why aren't you playing with tablets with us?
Mm-hmm.
Because I do have a sister like around that age,
Mm-hmm.
and she communicates a lot through like Roblox, and she does great at meeting friends, like compared to other kids. But she's talking to old friends from different cities through Roblox, but it just consumes them sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the approach of, like, I think my only thing is that maybe we could have hit it a little bit harder, that it's not just something that takes away little kids. Like, I would have loved to seen a scene of a bunch of adults on phones also. Like, if we would have maybe somehow ended up at a random place like a grocery store or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a
Where
kid.
everybody's just staring at their screen also.
Everyone's staring at their screens, like shopping. Maybe a kid is trying to get attention, and the mom's like, here's the tablet,
Oh man, that is a good idea.
Because I think it kind of blamed it on the kids, and I was expecting this movie to somehow like also be the parents' fault, because you know that's what they say is that the tablet is the kid's best babysitter,
Yeah.
and that's the parents' issue. So I was kind of expecting the parents to go through that. I don't mind that the parents are like straight up, they do nothing wrong in this movie. Like they
Yeah.
gave her the tablet as soon as they realize it's an issue. Here you go. I turn off the chats. Like
Yeah.
here you go. Like you can't get cyberbullied.
Yeah.
But I do wish that maybe it would have hit that this is also about like adults. As far as the tech goes, like that has nothing to do with Toy Story, but as far as tackling kids being on tech all the time, you know, we could have maybe hinted at that. Just one scene, and the toys kind of be like, well, no wonder that they're on tech the whole time. Like, you know, they're being forced into it, and it's consuming them because it's very easily consumable.
Yeah.
That I wish Lily Pad was a little bit more mature. Obviously, Bonnie, I don't know how old she is in this movie, maybe like 11, 10. I wish Lily would have gave them, she shows them like, this is what she can do, this is turtle time, she called it. I wish she would have shown them a thing of like, you know, my kid can call the ambulance if they need to. My kid will learn how to cook through me. My kid will like eventually talk to friends from different cities.
Like showing
through
more
me.
of the positives, like
Like
real life positives.
worldview, big positives. Instead of it was like, oh, you know, like she's gonna catch up on this game that everyone's playing, and group chats and gifts, and it's cool because that's the surface level of it, but that is how you make it a little bit more high stakes. Is like they say tech is for everything. They don't really show that, in my opinion.
What do you think of how like they do end up using tech like to save the day pretty much though? Like they use like the advantages of tech to find Lily Pad
The messaging back
and then to
forth.
get back to Bonnie.
I thought it was a lot for like a Toy Story movie again, but
Yeah.
because it's from like this little like potty trainer toy, and he's like, oh wait, I can actually message on this.
It was kind of funny. I'm like, how would you even message on this?
Just like having like yeah
And
like
obviously they
yeah.
never show you like how they
Yeah.
actually message it because I was like, how the
yeah, it's like having
You
like
know?
a kid grow up on like a cash register that he does for like a toy simulator, like a grocery
Yeah.
simulator, and be like, oh, actually, I'm gonna just text somebody from this. I was like, all right, like.
I
sure.
do remember though when I was a kid having like little like digital cameras and stuff like Snappy that like would connect to the internet. So like to a certain level I buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in the movie like that works to the benefit of the characters that just feels like convenient.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I said, like Deus Ex Machina almost.
Mhm.
Like it saves. It almost feels like it saves the writers from having to think up like a more a clever like
Mhm.
solution to the characters' problems. You know.
Yeah, it was convenient.
Yeah.
I do think that the scenes of like Bonnie consuming the tablet though were like really amazing though. Like
Yeah.
even I think it's the part where he's putting away her toys or something. They're like all right, we're gonna put away your toys, which is obviously very important to the story. And she just goes like, okay, like just like leave me alone. I'm on my tablet.
Yeah.
And real things are happening around her.
Yeah.
Just the way it consumed her. I like the scenes with the tech. I think that they were, you know, it's kind of hard to do them any better because I do think that they like represented what that looks like on a
Yeah.
child pretty good.
What do you think of how like even though like things were happening with the tablet that upset Bonnie, even like when she wasn't around her friends, she still leaned on it like a security blanket. You know what I mean? Like in
You
place
said-
of Jessie, it became the thing that she like hid behind. You know what I mean?
You said how do I feel about her like holding on to it?
Like that mix. Like I thought it was interesting that like there's like a like on the one hand, right, like it's providing like anxiety and stress into her life that wasn't there before.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand,
Mhm.
like she still is like super attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very authentic to like how kids can
Mhm.
be with like new technology and stuff like that. Like did anything like that like ring like true for you, like true for
Yeah.
like real life, like how kids act and stuff like that?
It did, because the roles were reversed. That she was like, oh look, I have Jessie and Bullseye, and she's trying to play with like the mean kids.
Yeah.
But then at the end, Blaze comes up to her, and she's like, hey, Bonnie, you want to play?
Right, and she kind of
And
did
Bonnie-
to her what
Bonnie
those other
pretends
kids-
to play, and she's not even really playing anything yet. She's not on the tablet, and she like kind of forces herself
Yeah.
because it's like putting up a mask like in a social situation that you're not ready
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I did like that because to me, you know, that's something that develops at a young age. And for kids these age that have that, it's gonna be like a first nature, not even like a second nature. It's gonna be like almost like your fight or flight. Like I'm in a situation where someone's coming up to me and trying to talk to me like a social interaction, and you can tell the kids that just like immediately go for the tablet, like don't talk to me, I'm doing something, or
Yeah.
like I'm engaged in something else.
And to kids, being embarrassed is like the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
You know, like they can
exactly.
hardly handle it.
Yeah.
So that was that was sad. Like at that part, I part of me almost like thought Bonnie might not like make the right choice. Obviously, like she was going to, but I thought that they like sold it pretty well. Like you know, like that conflict I thought had been built up
That was
like, pretty
pretty sad.
well and resolved in a way that like I was very satisfied
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, I mean, I liked everything that happened with Jesse getting pretty much thrown out again. Like, even when Snappy or the other technology was like, you don't know what it's like to just be locked up your whole life in the dark. And, you know, they don't make it a big issue, but we know as the audience that she does.
Mhm.
And you can see it on her face. She's like, all right, I'll help them out. But even getting thrown away, I thought that was pretty sad, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
she jumped out the window, and I was like, oh, like, I feel bad for her.
Because that's the thing that I think Pixar in general, even like new, because I know a lot of people aren't crazy about like new Pixar stuff, but I've never left Pixar. Like I've
Right.
always been a Pixar. Like I'm ride or die for
Mhm.
Pixar. And I think that's something that they like are able to do that other kids movies like Despicable Me or what else is out right now? I don't know, not the Pixar, but like the Disney stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that those movies tend to actually be like quite a bit more like surface level in
Mhm.
their like emotions and character arcs, whereas with Disney, I think, or with Pixar, I think that they tend to like really dig into those like complicated things.
Yeah.
And personally, I think that that is like really great for kids to be able to have and see and be able to think about like, do I relate to Bonnie? Like, do I see myself in Bonnie? Do I see myself in Blaze? Do I like feel like I've been in this situation with like the Mean Girls and stuff like that, in ways that like I don't think other like kids media will like do proper justice to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's always like again like a big plus for me. I
Yeah.
guess similar to how you said at the beginning, I'm always gonna give Pixar in general like a few more points because I just feel like they're swinging for like way harder shots than like other studios do. Like they don't go for low hanging fruit most of the time.
That's why I said like this had literally no chance of being lower than a 6. Like,
Yeah.
it had no chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even like you said, like other studios, like the Mario movie, like I didn't like that movie.
Case in point.
One of my biggest thing was that it should have been a movie about sisterhood, like about Princess Peach and Rosalina.
Yeah.
And I think they said they spent like 4 minutes together.
No, I was very disappointed before. Okay, just
The
like,
whole
before
trailer
we
is
go,
Rosalina.
Like, yeah, no, I thought she was gonna have a way bigger role in the movie. She basically did
I
nothing.
was upset. Yeah.
No, that was crazy.
I was disappointed.
But yeah, case in point, there was like a lot of opportunity to have like substance there
Mm-hmm.
of like I don't know, tough stuff, dramatic stuff, and they just didn't go for it. You know.
Okay, you want to do Toy Story rankings?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you have yours?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I'll let you go first. I'll let you go pretty much like uninterrupted. Just do least to most, and then like 20 seconds on each, 30 seconds on each. So I'll let you go.
Okay, so I think my favorite is.
Wait, go backwards.
Oh, go backwards.
Least favorite.
Least favorite. Okay, so my least favorite Toy Story movie is probably 4. It may not be a fair ranking because I may have seen it twice, but I really think I've only seen it like one time.
Okay.
When it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, it's because I really resonate with that thing I was talking about earlier that like Doug Walker said that it almost just feels like a spin-off movie instead of like a direct sequel.
Right.
I felt that at the time that it just kind of felt like an epilogue, just like extra.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think naturally it feels like it's barely of consequence, you know? I mean, I guess Woody leaves, like the dynamics of the characters change, like that's true, but it's just okay. Just not like a lot of like interesting stuff happens in 4, in my opinion.
Right.
It's just a little romp.
Okay.
5 I liked more than 4. Because as I spent like earlier explaining, I feel like it's like really going for something and it's really trying to like express something. It's taking like kind of a risk by focusing on Jessie and like focusing on her character more than any of the other movies have, which I think by the end of it proves to be worthwhile. She proves to be a worthwhile character, just like Buzz and Woody. To have that level of like interior life that we like start to like think about, and I just thought it was pretty great. And then my next favorite after that is probably 3. I think I rank 3 the lowest of the original trilogy.
Okay.
Because of personal bias reasons. I did mention earlier, I think Buzz gets kind of shafted in that one. I feel like 3 is where like most of the characters kind of like change more into like what they are now. And I just don't think I like it as much as like where the characters start in like 1 and 2. But 3 is just like a phenomenal like movie. Like objectively, it just
big
is,
jump from 4 and 5.
Like they could have that in like the Criterion Collection one day.
Right.
Like it's just an awesome film. So yeah, I place it definitely above like both 5 and 4. And then right above 3, I would put 1, just because I think it's like I said about 3 is just a great movie. 1 is like that should be in like the Library of Congress. It's like such a perfect little, because it's like really short. I don't know if you watched it recently.
Somewhat, yeah.
I think the movie's like not even an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's extremely short, and if you watch it, it's actually like super fast paced.
Yeah.
But you feel like so much stuff happens. I watched that movie on VHS tape like over and over and over and over again when I was a kid, and I think obviously like it gets a lot of points for being just such a pioneering like movie. I think it was around that time, like after Toy Story came out, that Disney decided to team up with Studio Ghibli and start like distributing like Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away and all those things to the United States. And I think it makes sense that like Toy Story and Studio Ghibli at that point in time kind of like go together, like as kids movies that aspire to like be just great cinema, and go through like complicated like themes with kids and stuff. And then 2 is my favorite because I think it accomplishes everything that 1 did, but better, with higher stakes, better filmmaking, better animation, more characters. In my opinion, like it's pound for pound like the better movie, and it like weighs quite a bit more. You know what I mean? So like it's almost like Spider-Man 2 I think is better than Spider-Man 1 just because it like excels at doing like so much more than Spider-Man 1 attempted to. So Toy Story 2 to me is the best of the whole franchise.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do my ranking now. Okay, so here's my ranking for the 5 Toy Stories after watching Toy Story 5. In last place I have Toy Story 5. Yeah, I did not rock with this movie like, maybe I should have. I enjoy that there's a Toy Story 5 completely. Obviously I'll watch it, and but I don't mind any of the other ones, so I put it in last just because I think I have my clear issues with it. Next up I had Toy Story 4, which I think would be like a collectively like everybody's last. But I liked it. I liked the like just Woody actually taking his time now and giving himself peace, like a peaceful ending. Besides that, it has a bunch of issues as well though. But like we mentioned, I like all the stuff with the antique store, the stuff going on at the carnival. Forky is definitely a choice, but I don't mind him. And then a really big jump from those 2, I have Toy Story 1, which I had the hardest time ever putting like in the 3 spot, just because I think I like how this movie feels. It has like a credible scale to me. Like
Is it Toy Story 1?
Toy Story 1, the first one. Like I love the scale of it. Like the scene where Buzz falls behind like the dresser and he's stuck back there. The Pizza Planet truck going to Pizza Planet, going to Sid's house. Like this movie feels the most Toy Story to me, honestly. And then after that, I have Toy Story 2, which I think is the best film, but it's not my favorite. I think it is the best film. This is the one I rewatched for Toy Story 5. I think this is everyone's favorite because I watched it with a big group of about 12 people and everyone's enjoying it. I think it's just an interesting move to go from toys in a room to all of a sudden one of these is considered like a vintage, high level, expensive toy that's part of this huge, bigger thing. I think that's an interesting take. I think everything in Al's Toy Barn is fantastic. Everything with Al is amazing. Introducing Jesse is like one of the best things they could have done. The thing with Buzz and secondary Buzz and Zurg and Rex, ton of fun. Toy Story 3 is my number one, just because I think it's been my number one for several years now. This movie is a lot of fun. It's a heist movie at its heart. It's a family movie being separated, finding ways to hold on to each other. But this movie like defines what it is to be a toy. You know, you're getting bashed in by kids and you're left out in the sand. Mr. Potato Head turns into what is he, a cucumber or a tortilla or a tortilla in this movie?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's like this movie just is so creative in the way it uses the toys, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I love the scenes with the monkey being like the warden pretty much.
Yeah.
But Lotso kind of does a lot for me in this movie. Lotso is just like a really good Disney villain. But Toy Story 3 is just emotional to me in ways that has just stuck with me. A lot of these original trilogy are emotional, but you know that scene where at the end is just forever iconic, where they're in the compact, you know, about to burn, and Toy Story 3 would be my definitive number one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think of my list?
I like it a lot.
Because I think
it's pretty different from mine.
Plenty of Days I would have like your list.
Really?
I think number 2 is the best, but I don't think it's,
so
I don't think it's my
2
favorite.
and 3 like switch places to you a lot.
I wish I could put 1 at 1, but I can't. But 2 and 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I wish I could
it's
put.
great, but I think 2 and 3 are objective.
I can't believe like this is a franchise where number 1 just isn't the best movie.
No, that's so real. You know, like there's like those kinds of things. You know, like the fact that like you take Quentin Tarantino, right, and the fact that like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are like his first 2 movies, and they like changed cinema.
Right.
Like forever. And it's actually like quite debatable whether or not those are his best movies versus like later stuff that he did. Like that's how good of a filmmaker he is, you know? And that's, I definitely feel that. Like the fact that Pixar put out like Toy Story 1, if all Pixar ever did was Toy Story 1, that would have been like worth a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the fact that they continued to make like so many great movies, even within the same like series, like more great Toy Story movies, it's just a testament to like their creativity and their ability to always like push themselves. I read this. I've been for a while like listening to this audiobook about like the rise of Pixar as a studio, like from the very beginning, and it talks a lot about how Pixar came from like Steve Jobs actually had a lot of interest in Pixar in the beginning.
Right.
Because their thing was not like films, their thing was technology, right? So CG, like making Toy Story was meant to sort of just be like a thing, not just, but like it was meant to be a thing to show off like what like their animation technology could do.
Okay.
So
interesting.
It's this like intersection of technology and art that is very like, it's very like intriguing, you know, like not many other things kind of meet in the middle like that. Like which now that I say that out loud, it makes a lot of sense, right, too, that Pixar would not just be like so super boomer about it and just be like technology bad, because they themselves were like pioneers of pushing technology really far forward at a time where people like were uncomfortable with it. I remember a lot of pushback against CG animation when I was younger, you know. People
I didn't think about that, yeah.
People really wanted like practical effects to stay like the dominant thing, and it just like didn't.
Yeah.
It's come back a little bit like over time now that we're even further in the future.
But it's scary to introduce something so new.
No, it's true, and I think it goes to show like that's why I said like I think they're looking forward for real, because right now like technology and screens are so dominant in our lives, but I think it's feasible that eventually 10 more years or so like they won't be, and we will like find a balance with it. It's interesting to me though that like, do you see like the separation in 3 between like 1 and 2? The way I see it is like 1 and 2 like really go together, and then
Yes.
3 is almost like a different thing.
It is.
You feel that too?
It is. Because, well, I mean, Andy's a different person.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think that's why.
Yeah.
Like, they're literally in a different setting the whole time. And I think you wouldn't have the need for that, but he's pretty young in 2. He's literally going to summer camp
Yeah.
as a young boy.
Yeah.
And then he's a full college student. Upcoming college student.
Yeah.
To me, the toys feel relatively like the same enough from 2 to 3,
Mhm.
but I would say there's a reason why it's a different movie because their kid that's been their kid for so long he's a different person.
No, that's true. Definitely, like the characters themselves, like the fact that they allowed time to pass, like realistically between
Yeah.
like the films, that definitely goes a long way towards making it feel different.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me too, the original 2 films, right? There was no like they were the first ones making CG animated films,
Mm-hmm.
like ever, pretty much. I think Toy Story literally is the first like 3D animated feature film like ever.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So what those guys were taking influence from was actually a lot of like live action classic films, right? Like there's that part in Toy Story 2 where Woody has like the bad dream where Andy says, "I don't want to play with you anymore," and he's like falling into
Great
the trash
scene.
can. That is pretty much exactly like a parody of a scene from Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo,
Okay, I've never seen it.
where the character has a bad dream and he's falling because he has a fear of heights and he's falling from a high place
Mhm.
into this like vortex. And if you put those two side to side, like it's obvious like they literally based it off of like that movie,
Mhm.
right? And I think that they were taking influence like as filmmakers from stuff like that, from like Hitchcock, from Spielberg, from George Lucas, right, with that intermingling of like technology and cinema. And I think that makes the first 2 movies feel to me like almost like really grounded in a way that like really works for me, that I can really imagine like these toys and their stories existing like in the real world. And furthermore, like why I think emotionally those stories can go to like these dark, like nuanced places to begin with. Because the films that they're taking up after, like, did that for like suspense or action or comedy and things like that.
Yeah.
And then 3 is like the early 2010s, where we at that point have established like many different studios, many different movies, generations of animators at that point. Like what like CG animation kind of took its own form as a style of filmmaking, like totally separate from live action filmmaking. And I think that 3 then feels like very different because they're now like building on to like something that has like completely changed. You know what I mean? And they like continue to do that like up to 5 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. We'll do one more. Let me see. Hold on. One more thing, Toy Story, because we need to jump off Toy Story for sure.
Sure.
Let me see. Do you think there will be another Toy Story movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll be back.
I think at this point, like it's like undoubtedly, you know.
Me too. Yeah.
I think even as like the voice actors age and like unfortunately will probably pass on.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's
Like-
true. Did you hear? Buzz? Is it
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen? Right.
Yeah.
He was taking voice acting lessons so that way he would, because he was sounding very old.
Oh really?
So he was like, I had to retake voice acting lessons because I was sounding like an old man. And like the whole movie, because I had heard about that like the day I watched it, and the whole time I was like, you know what? Like Jesse sounds a little bit like weary.
Mhm.
And I was like, I hear it in Buzz, like he's more spry. But I mean, I just think it's cool that they're doing that. But like we said, it is a 30-year franchise, so these actors are getting older.
No, I feel that. I think Woody sounds old. I thought in this movie Jessie sounded old.
To me, it was Jessie,
Yeah.
yeah. Because she just has so much like spry in Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
And like everything she's doing, she's yelling, and I mean, she still did like really, really
It's
well.
great
but
voice acting, but you could just tell like the actress.
I had just watched Toy Story 2, so I was like, yeah, there's a
Oh,
clear
big
difference.
difference,
There's
sure.
a clear difference. But okay, Toy Story 6.
Mm-hmm.
You think there'll be another one?
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely do. I can't predict like what it could be about, but I guess I hope that they're like sowing seeds to start like transitioning like away from like the main cast, like to be honest, because like
Mhm.
Woody and Buzz are kind of like side characters in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's not a bad thing.
They are, yeah. They
You
are
know,
side characters.
If they want to continue making more, I think all these kinds of ways they're trying to like pass the torch to like newer characters and eventually like newer actors. The same way like Pixar, you know, over their many years has passed the torch to new animators. I just think that this movie is very ready to like. It feels like they're very ready to like tackle that. You know, like just moving on.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be impossible right now to predict like what would be next.
Yeah.
Like if you told me one day it was gonna be about technology, I wouldn't believe it. But like I know popular thing is people want all these toys to end up with like Andy's kids,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, okay, sure, I guess. But yeah, that's like a popular like fan theory and stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, there's definitely gonna be more. Like I have.
Okay, the thing about like this movie too, I feel like a lot of the people that were most excited in my life, like to watch it, were actually like older people, like my tias and my tios, my mom and dad.
Yeah.
Like they were like gung ho about going to see this movie.
Absolutely.
I was not like rushing to the theater. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have super high hopes for it, nor like a lot of excitement like initially. Obviously I was going to see it, but my point is like I think that like a lot of the audience too is like so old, but it's also like a franchise that's getting like passed down because like little kids are going to be watching this like for the first time, and it's going to be their first exposure to like all these characters and their stories and whatnot. So
definitely.